All right, guys, moving on to the next question. Singridim asked, how strict are you in counting macros currently, or do you intuitively eat? So usually, like I've been tracking macros for over 4 years now, so my brain is kind of like a calculator when I look at food. Like I can just kind of tell what's in food because I've done it so much. So usually if I don't have any upcoming event or if I'm just trying to maintain, I can get away with just intuitively eating because I can kind of already tell where I'm at with calories and macros and stuff just from practice, from doing it for so long. However, when I am trying to lean down for a shoot or an event or something like that, I will usually get back on the macro tracking wagon because it just keeps me accountable and it makes me pay attention more to what I'm eating, and that can usually really help me. But usually I can just intuitively eat. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Especially since I'm not powerlifting or doing bikini competitions anymore, I just can get away with the intuitive eating though. But sometimes it can get me in trouble because I'm like, look at that cookie and I'm like, intuitively, I think I should eat that. And I shouldn't. So Hallie Pot asked, what kind of milk do you drink and why? I chose not to drink cow's milk a long time ago, just not really for any reason except that it just grossed me out. So I drink almond milk or cashew milk now because I just like the way it tastes. Okay, FitKate1 asked, do you count fiber and do you use net carbs? Yes, I count fiber. So carbs are broken down into two things. You have your fibrous carbs and you have your starchy carbs and your sugar carbs. So three. Fiber carbs, starchy carbs, sugar carbs, they're all carbs. They still have calories in them. Even though it's fiber, which is the better of the carbs to eat, it's still carbs, it's still calories, you should still count it. So if you eat, what's a fibrous carb, a vegetable. If you eat a bell pepper, it has maybe 100 calories, maybe not even, like maybe 50 calories in a bell pepper. If you eat 50 calories of carbs in sugar, like if you eat 10 rolls of Smarties, those are the same amount of calories, but way different. You should still count your fiber. You should never just discard your fiber, even if it's just vegetables. It's just best to count it because it's still contributing to your over-calorie intake and your overall carb intake. So yes, I do. Gian Pa asked, what are the macro requirements post-weight loss to gaining muscle? This question is a little bit confusing, but what I think you're asking is if someone did like a major weight loss and now they want to gain muscle, what are the macros that you should be eating? Macros are totally dependent on the person, but like I always say, a good rule of thumb to go by is your weight is the same amount of grams of protein you should eat. So for example, I'm 130 pounds, so I should be eating 130 grams of protein. So that's a good kind of ballpark for you. However, if you're overweight and you want to lose weight, like if you're extremely overweight, say I was 200 pounds, I should not be eating 200 pounds of protein because a lot of my weight is made up of fat. So what I'm trying to say though is she's asking what are the macro requirements post weight loss to gaining muscle. In gaining muscle, you're also going to be gaining a little bit of fat. That's just how it goes. There's not really any way of getting around that. You can't just gain pure muscle. Like if you're eating enough to gain muscle, you should be eating enough to also gain a little fat. And that's fine and that's healthy and that's how you should do it. So what I recommend for you is to be in a slight caloric surplus, not excessive. Find where your maintenance calories are, the number of calories that you can eat that you don't gain or lose weight, and then just increase it a little bit. Go really hard in the gym. Make sure your protein stays high so that you can keep fat gain to a minimum. Make sure you're eating healthy whole foods. Don't fill your extra macros with pizza. Try to remain eating really healthy, clean foods, just being in a slight caloric surplus, and that'll keep your fat gain to a minimum as you gain muscle. And make sure that you do the type of workouts that are gonna help you gain muscle as well. So a lot of like compound lifts, a lot of heavy lifting, will really help more than just doing like a HIIT circuit, you know what I mean? How do you feel about the keto diet? This is a big controversy in the fitness world, I think. Keto I think keto can work for some people. It definitely does not work for me. My body does way better when it has a lot of carbs. So I don't do the keto diet. However, I'm not discarding it. I think that it could work for some people, and it does work for some people, but I do think that doing a keto diet is unrealistic for most individuals, because in order for it to really work, you have to stick to it every day. And I think that's really, really challenging for most people to do. You can't do a keto diet 3 or 4 days out of a 7-day week and say that you're doing keto or think that it works, or have it work properly, rather. So unless you can really commit to doing keto on point every day and you're willing to make that sacrifice and risk, I don't think it's realistic or that beneficial. Like, I think you can get your results in other ways more easily. And your body needs carbs. Like, it really needs carbs. For you to get the same, health benefits from a keto diet than you would from eating carbs is, I don't know. Maybe I just don't know a lot about it, but in my personal experience and my studies and what I've learned in my career, I think carbs are so important, and I don't think a keto diet is the right way to go. For most people, but for some, it is. Someone asked, how on point are you with your own diet? I'm only human, so I like to indulge. I don't think that restricting yourself from everything is healthy. I think restricting yourself at all is unhealthy, because it makes you want that thing more, and it makes you binge, and it makes you hate yourself after you binge, and it's just a vicious cycle. So I don't think you should restrict yourself from eating anything. I think that you should enjoy food, and I think that you should indulge in stuff. But if you eat healthy 85% of the time, the 15% that you indulge, it won't really matter. So that's kind of my philosophy on it. I definitely love to eat things like Smarties and pizza and cookies and ice cream, and I enjoy them when I do, and Taco Bell. And I don't hate myself, and I just eat healthy most of the time, so I don't feel guilty about that other time. So I would probably say I eat healthy 85% of the time, and 15% are treats. Someone asked, what is the best tip to get your micronutrients in without adding too many calories? Micronutrients come from things like vegetables, so I think making vegetables and fruits. So I think that making sure that you eat your servings of vegetables every day, you get those minerals and vitamins in. Also taking a daily multivitamin, or if you don't like to eat vegetables, and if you know that you don't have the time to prep them, or you know that you're just not going to eat them, do yourself a favor and get yourself the vegan reds and greens from One Up Nutrition. This is an antioxidant superfood drink that has a plethora of vitamins and minerals and will make you hit that micronutrient goal. And it tastes freaking amazing. It tastes like berries, and I love taking this. Take this every morning. It has so many good things in it, so I highly recommend you try this little bad boy. This little powerhouse of a supplement if you haven't already. I have a whole video on my morning supplement routine, and I explain what I do for my morning drink with this. I think you might like it, so I'll link that below as well. Perry RN asked, can you have too much protein? How many grams is good if you're trying to lose weight? This takes me back to what I said before about try to have, if you train every day and you're working out and you're eating healthy, try to eat the same amount of protein as you are in body weight, unless you're very, very overweight, unless you're like 50% or let's say 45 to 50% body fat. Then you don't need that much protein. Don't eat that much protein. So yes, it is possible to eat too much protein. But that's a good ballpark for you to start. Or like what I do is when I'm trying to lose weight, when I'm trying to lose, cut weight, I will say like I'm 135 pounds. If I want to weigh 125, maybe I'll eat, and maybe this is a little bit too nitpicky for you guys, but I will try to eat like 127 grams of protein, like a little less than what I weigh. Just kind of inching it down to my goal weight. But then again, I don't think that you should lose weight with a goal weight in mind, because so many things go into your body weight, and progress is not just how much you weigh. So good rule of thumb is to go with how many pounds you are, your body weight. So